this early in the race, he can certainly communicate with those two. Coming up to 2,000 metres, wait for the split. 5:05.62. Well, they wanted 5:04. They brought it down slightly closer to target. I don't think that's too bad. They're about a second slower than they wanted to be. Gebrselassie, don't forget, has gone through there in around 5:06, being 2 or 3 metres down on World 8. So he won't want any let up on this pace through the middle stages of the race. They're coming down the home straight now with 7 laps to run. World 8 from Gebrselassie, and Gebrselassie goes past Gebrselassie with 7 laps to run onto the shoulder of World 8. Now, is he getting impatient? Does he sense that these two just aren't up to it tonight? Certainly Gebrselassie there, wearing 2, is going with him and should try and get round him and help here. And he's doing that right now, just what Gebrselassie would have wanted, without having to do anything else. Unspoken, I think, the communication between them there.
Yeah, Gebrselassie taking it up. Gebrselassie at first looked as if he was going to go for a long, long strike from home, but Gebrselassie now doing his job, which he's done so many times before for Haile Gebrselassie, whether it's in Hengelo or on the tracks of the world, and just a little push there just to say keep your distance.
Well, he really doesn't need that. Gebrselassie just encouraging Gebrselassie there to stride out. He's still striding on the outside of that inside lane, if you get my drift. Giving Gebrselassie a free run here. 6 laps to go, 6:37 on the clock. So they are lapping at around 61 seconds, 61.2 seconds. Gebrselassie drops out now. That's disappointing. Gebrselassie was hoping that his teammate might be able to go with him for considerably longer than that, at least a lap and a half further than that. And this makes the job all the harder for Gebrselassie. I have to tell you too that it's not particularly warm in the stadium now, certainly nowhere near 20 degrees. I would say, Andy, it's around 14, 15 degrees. All of us sitting here with pullovers and coats on. The temperature has dropped quite dramatically over the last half hour, 40 minutes.
It has. It's a cool Scandinavian evening now, and Gebrselassie is not quite set up as he would want it, but this is a man in tremendous form, that face so full of concentration, but he's got to do it all on his own now. He's going to take the record back from Daniel Komen.
Coming down towards the 3,000 metres, this is an important split. He wanted 7:36, 7:38.93. Well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's a couple of seconds shy of what he wants there. It's still within target. 7:38.3 was his time when setting his personal best. Komen 7:37.3, so he's over a second and a half outside Komen's world record schedule. He's going to have to really push it for this next mile. Interestingly, 200 or 300 metres back, we saw a little grimace, and I think he's working here. And I noted that too, Andy, when he set his world record in Hengelo a couple of weeks ago. He was working very hard, 4 or 5 laps out in that 10,000. I'm not saying that's not excusable. I'm simply saying that it shows that the sort of level that he's now reached, he normally looks very, very relaxed, even through the latter stages of his record run. But he's now reaching such an astonishingly high performance level that he is hurting from a long way out. And I wonder if that 10,000 is still in his legs. Only 12 days to go. 4 laps to go now. The crowd really getting behind him. They're on their feet all around us. And on this bend, just past the finish line, there's an awful lot of Ethiopian flags. They'll go berserk if he gets this record, but he really needs to push it hard this next couple of laps to give himself the mental push, if you like, the ability to make that last lap a mental run rather than a physical one. If he reaches the bell and he can seize the record is feasible, anything is possible. But if he gets to the bell and it's a very, very tough target, then he may rather just stride home, I think, Andy.
Yeah, I made it with a mile to go. The clock was 8 minutes 40 exactly. Some of the timings are a little inaccurate this evening, but certainly the look on his face is showing that he is finding it hard work. I don't think he's moving with quite the fluency that we've seen from him before.
Well, I think that tells the story, doesn't it? Those arms are coming up a little higher. Still got that bouncy stride, but the work rate a little bit higher than perhaps he would like. 9:41 there as he goes through with 3 laps to go. He needs the last 1,200 at 2:58, and I think that is beyond him. I really can't see him covering 3 laps of the track at sub 4 minute miling pace, let alone 4 laps of the track inside 4 minutes. which was the target just over a lap and a half ago. Still striding out well. No doubt he's running for a fast time here, and I'm sure Daniel Komen will somehow be being kept aware of this back in Kenya by his agent Kim McDonald, who is here in Helsinki. Has got a big group here, including several of those men that were in that steeplechase, and Kip Koskai, for example, who is in this one, is in the McDonald stable. But with just under 2.5 laps to run, I think the world record has slipped out of his reach, and he must know it.
He's really having to work hard now. I mean, that's a truism when you're trying to run a world record, but that posture, the arms, as you were saying, Tim, are just coming round. 10:42.43 with 800 left.
Well, world record 12:39.74. Needs to cover this next 800 in about 1:57.6. And even if he runs a 60 here, that would need a 57-second final lap, and I think that's beyond him. Jos Hermans and Gebrselassie, a formidable pairing. Hermans helps him with the schedules. He has a coach back in Ethiopia as well. Spends a lot of his time in Holland under the tutelage of Hermans. Also has a brother who is a political refugee resident in Holland, who's a pretty useful marathon runner. He is, of course, one of 10 children. That's a little frightening, isn't it? Suppose they all take up running.
You know, I heard a story about how Gebrselassie might have got that high stepping style. If we just look at the clock and see what he's going to do, well, that looks as if he's really going to push it, but can he do it? Gebrselassie, he needs, well, about a 57, 58 last lap. Can he do it, Tim? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, I said with 2 laps to go, he needs to run a 60 and a 57. He's just run a 60, and he's striding out very strongly down the back straight. Remember, this is the man who took the Olympic title in Atlanta with a last 200 of 25.1 seconds. He does have phenomenal speed. He's the second fastest man ever over 1,500 meters indoors. And here he is around the crown of the bend with 150 meters to run. Haile Gebrselassie glances across into the home straight. It beckons. So does the finish line. So do the fans just beyond the finish line. Everybody on their feet. We're out into the stands to see him coming home. The clock is ticking away. 33, 34, 35, 36. He's so close. 39.36. He's actually done it. 12:39.36. The world record is gone. That is incredible. I really thought 4 laps out he'd missed it. Haile Gebrselassie has done the impossible. He must have run his last mile in around 3:58.5, 3:59, and that is finishing speed never seen before. The rest of the field sprinting home, but Haile Gebrselassie, Andy, has turned what looked like a failed attempt into 101% success within the space of that final lap.
What a performance. If I had a hat, I would eat it, because we said with a mile to go, the timings felt a little bit inaccurate, but I reckon it was 8:40 exactly with 1,600 meters left, and we thought, well, he's not looking that good. There's a lot of work going on in that body, and even with 2 laps to go, 800 meters to go, the odds were against it, but he fooled us both, and I think he fooled a lot more than just 2 commentators in this stadium in Helsinki tonight. What a run. He's done it again.
That is incredible running. It really does almost leave you speechless. There it is. The Haile Gebrselassie fan club somehow managed to find their way down onto the track time and again. Remember when he set a world 2,000 meters best at Birmingham at the National Indoor Arena last winter, back in February, one of his fans leapt over the barriers down onto